Hello, hello, hello. All right, welcome, welcome, welcome. So tonight we're going to be talking about the new moon in Libra, okay, which the new moon happened at 8:50, 8:34. Let me hold on, let me get the right proper time here. um, at 8:25 this morning. Okay, so at 8:25, the new moon was exact in the sign of Libra at 28 degrees. Okay, and so this is a new moon where balance is being restored. Okay, um, and I don't know if you can feel the shift in the energy, but I definitely can feel the shift in the energy. Okay. So, this new moon in Libra is your clean slate for balance, boundaries, and a new relationship with yourself. Okay. So, earlier this month, I think it was on the 6th, was when we had the Aries full moon. Okay. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, and full moons are about releasing. Okay. And so on this Aries Libra axis, that full moon, Aries full moon, was about becoming sovereign within yourself again. Okay. Letting go of the people pleasing, letting go of where you have been laxed within your boundaries, and becoming sovereign within yourself and tightening up your boundaries. Okay. And so this new moon is really giving you the opportunity, another chance. This is where you actually start implementing all of those things where you are becoming more sovereign. Okay. So Libra energy is how we balance our scales, okay? And it is the style of our relating, okay? How we relate to others, how we relate to things outside of ourselves, okay? And so when you have a new moon, you are planting the seeds for how the energy will grow over the next 6 months that will take you to the Libra full moon that we will have in, I want to say April. Yeah, in April. Okay. But not just like the next 28 days are going to be especially important because this is where you really get into the groove of the energy. Okay. And so you want to set your intentions around mutuality, aligned agreements, boundaries, and beauty in your systems. And so tonight we're going to talk about all of that, how to really incorporate this moon. I am going to kind of give you some things, some areas, the area of your life where this is going to be most potent for you based on your rising sign. So if you know your rising sign, that is the first house in your natal chart. And if you don't know your rising sign, but you would like to learn, you can check the description of tonight's live. I have a free tutorial to show you how to do it on astro.com. It's absolutely free. You will need your time of birth, okay, in order to do that. All right. But before we get knee deep into tonight's content, if you are new to me or to the channel, hi, my name is Katrice, and I am the Natal Chart Navigator, and I teach divorced women how to use their natal charts to rebuild their lives after divorce and how to move and use it to move through the 6 stages of divorce easier and with more grace. Okay. All right. And if you are returning, to all the returning navigators, hello, welcome. Nice to have you back. All right. So if you have a notebook, piece of paper, something to write with, you want to jot down some notes because this energy, it really feels a little different than the last few new moons that we have been experiencing. Okay. Especially from, if you take the Virgo moon, new moons that we had two Virgo new moons, okay, in September. And those energies was really potent. Um, and for a lot of people, especially if with the solar eclipse, Virgo solar new moon solar eclipse that we had, if you had any points anywhere between, I'll say, 25, 26 degrees and 29 degrees, it was especially intense for you. Okay, my sun was at is at 29 degrees, and so that solar eclipse was really intense for me. Okay. Um, but now with this new moon being in the sign of Libra, um, it feels like it's like a equal, it's like where everything is becoming equal. And the energy just feels kind of calm and kind of peaceful. It doesn't feel really chaotic. Okay. Which Libra energy is a sign of balance. Okay, it's the scales. And so it feels like we're at a point where everything is shifting, like it's not, the scale is moving from chaos to calm. Okay. Um, and so also with this new moon, we have Venus in Libra. Okay, so Venus is in its home sign, and it is unaspected, meaning that there's no other planets that are aspecting or interacting with Venus at this time. So Venus is at home, it's free, it's unattached to anything, and so it is just operating and flowing beautifully. Okay. And so that is something that is going to really also help with this new moon. Um, because Venus is a benefic, okay? And Venus energy is all about, it's love, it's money, it's self love, okay? And so when you are looking at this new moon here, this is a really good time for you to um, pull away from the external world. And, you know, especially if you've been really heavily focused on the external world, um, pull away from that and really start to focus on you. Bring your energy back into self so that you can recalibrate and rebalance. Okay. Now, that's one thing about divorce, is that when you get divorced, a lot of times you feel lost. Okay, like, what is going on? I don't know who I am. I don't know where to begin. And it's because you've been so externally focused on your husband, focused on your kids, focused on the marriage, focused on all the other titles that um, you hold or that you identify with, right? And so then, now that the marriage has dissolved and a lot of those titles are no longer a part of your identity, it's like, okay, who am I? You just feel off, right? Let me know in the comments if this is resonating with you. um, you know but you just feel off because everything that you identified with for however long you were married, it's no longer a part of your identity anymore. Okay. And so this Libra new moon is a beautiful energy for you to truly say, give yourself a clean slate and really, come into your own, into who you really are, who you want to be. Okay. Um, so, three ways that as a divorced woman, you can really utilize this energy to help you moving forward, okay? To help you set intentions moving forward, okay? So the first way is for you to recontract with yourself, okay? Libra energy is an energy that rules contracts. And so you can create a new agreement with you, okay? So you can set agreements on how you'll communicate with yourself and others, how you will invest in yourself and others, and how you will receive support from others, and also how you will give support, right? Because again, Libra energy is the energy of relating, right? And because it is the scales, whatever you do on one side, you have to do on the other side so that you have that balance, okay? The second way is to restore reciprocity within your life, okay? Stop overgiving and align your relationships to fair exchange, whether that's fair exchange with your time, fair exchange with your money, and fair exchange with your emotional labor. Okay. If you have always been the one that has been giving, and receiving very, very little in return, this new moon is saying it's time for you to balance the scales. You have to give to yourself. You know, the saying, you can't give from an empty cup. Um, but that is so very true. You have to you have to learn how to fill yourself up first, and then you give from your overflow. Okay. And then the last way that you can work with this energy is to use elegance as a strategy. Okay. Libra energy is grace with a backbone. Okay. And so you don't have to be rude. You don't have to be mean when you set your boundaries. You can say them in a nice, beautiful, soft tone and still mean business, still be non negotiable. You can say no with a smile. Okay. You don't have to be mean or upset when you are setting your boundaries. And if somebody gets upset about you setting your boundaries, that is okay. They will be fine and they will move on. And if they cannot get you to budge on your boundaries, they'll just go find somebody else. Okay. Which is fine. Right. But this energy, this new moon is about you setting intentions that are going to allow you to fill your cup, to start filling your cup up, to start making sure that you are taking care of yourself, and that, when you do decide that you want to give, that you want to be, that you will be doing it from a place of sovereignty, not from a place of feeling like obligation. Okay. All right. So now I want to get into the rising signs, just telling you a little bit about, where this energy will take, where you will probably want to set your intentions based on where you have Libra in your chart. Okay. All right. So for if you have Aries risings, for you, this is going to be your seventh house. Seventh house is the house of partnerships, of marriage, of contracts. And so for you, you may be setting intentions around new agreements in your relationships or your partnerships. Um, and so you may be, you know, asking for setting new boundaries. And if they are not, favorable for you, if it's not, favorable for all parties involved, then you may just decide, you know what, this isn't for me. Okay. For Taurus risings, this is going to be in your sixth house. Okay. And so sixth house is the house of health, your daily routines and systems. And so for you, you're going to want to set boundaries around your daily routines. You're also going to want to set some boundaries around your health, maybe your eating habits. Maybe you're eating too many sweets. Maybe you're not eating as healthy as you know you should be. And so you're going to set some new boundaries around your eating, your setting new structure within your daily routines. Maybe you have been, over giving or overdoing for people, and you're going to want to clean all of that up. Okay. You want to optimize your routines that you have. Okay. Now for Gemini risings, this is going to be in your fifth house. Fifth house is the house of creativity, dating, and joy. This is what I call the fun house. And so in this house, you're going to choose things that don't sabotage your finances. If you are dating, you are going to be looking at dating where it is beneficial for both, where you don't feel like you are giving more in the relationship than, the person you're dating. Okay. Um, and finding activities that bring you joy. Okay. Balanced activities that bring you joy, that don't make you feel, kind of like chaotic or all over the place. Okay. Now, for Cancer risings, this is going to be in your fourth house. Fourth house is the house of home, family, and foundations. And so for you, you're going to be looking at wanting to stabilize your home or your living situations. You're also going to want to be making sure that you have balance within your household. If you are looking for somewhere to stay, you may be looking for a better place to stay. The neighborhood that you live in might not be that great of a neighborhood as you would like. So you may at this time be looking for a more calm, more peaceful neighborhood. Okay. Now for Leo risings, for us, this is going to be in our house. Third house is the house of communication. Okay. And so it's also learning in your local community. This is also the house of social media as well. And so if you have a social media presence, you may be setting some intentions around being more strategic. You may make some changes to your social media. If you feel like you have just been posting, but not really seeing any results, you may want to reevaluate your social media, and see, okay, where can I make some changes, because it doesn't feel like you know I'm receiving as much as I'm putting out. Maybe you need to switch platforms. Maybe, if you're on, like, say you're posting on like 5 different platforms, maybe you need to, that might be a little too much for you. And so you might need to scale that back, um, so that you can put out quality content and not just making sure you post just to post. Okay. Also, this could be with your communication. Maybe you have been afraid to communicate. And so you are going to want to be more in touch and communicate more authentically. Okay. Instead of shying away from speaking how you really feel, now maybe you're going to speak more authentically from yourself, and not being rude, but just really speaking and sharing your true thoughts and feelings. Okay. Now for Virgo risings, this is going to be in your second house. Second house um, is the financial house. This is your finances. It's also your value, what you value, and what you actually do to make money. And so, for you, this could be that you are looking at your finances, that maybe you have too much going out, and so you're really looking at your finances and trying to, you know, you have too much going out versus what's coming in, and so you're trying to bring that back in balance. You could also be looking for a job. If the job that you have, if it doesn't feel like it is a job that is, if you don't feel at peace, if it's a lot of conflict at work, people aren't getting along, a lot of unnecessary competition, or you just feel like you have outgrown that job, you may be looking for a new job at this time. Okay. But you are going to be really focused on bringing your finances, bringing your value back into balance. Also, this also has to do with, your self worth. So, how you feel about yourself is also tied within this house. And so, you may be working on that as well. Okay. Now, for Libra risings, for you, this is going to be in your first house. And so, this is going to be all about you. And you may be going through an identity reset. Okay. And so, this is where you are going to be really deciding, do you want to continue being who you have been being? Or are you saying, you know what, this isn't me? And, I want to be somebody else. This isn't who I am. This does not reflect me. Maybe you've been doing a whole lot of people pleasing, and you're really setting the intentions now, that you're going to be less people pleasing and more sovereign. Because remember, no is a complete sentence, and no is a love letter to your future you, right? And so this is where you're going to set intentions that you're going to put more of your time, your effort, and your energy into yourself, into your internal, and not so much your external. Okay. Now, for Scorpio risings, this is going to be in your 12th house. And so, 12th house is the house of the subconscious and solitude. Okay. And so, for you at this time, you may decide that you need to focus, set intentions, and focus more on rest, on your spiritual hygiene. You may be doing some energetic cord cutting and releasing at this time, letting go of things that are no longer serving you mentally, no longer helping you energetically, cleaning up your energy field so that you can attract what it is that you want when it's your new moon, okay, next month. Um, and then for Sagittarius risings, this is going to be in your 11th house. Okay. So the 11th house is friends, it's your networks, it's your wishes and goals. And so for you, you're going to be cleaning up your friends. Okay. Cleaning up your networks, the people who you choose to interact with, who you choose to have in your life. You're going to be cleaning all of that up. So if you've had a lot of friendships that have felt one sided, you may be getting to a point where you're like, you know what? I'm tired of this one-sided friendship. So I'm gonna let it go. There may be some groups that you have aligned with in the past where you felt aligned with them, but you've now grown and you're no longer aligned with those groups, and so you're gonna let them go. Okay. And so you're really going to be cleaning up your friend group, your networks, and things like that. Now, for Capricorn risings, this is going to be in your 10th house. 10th house is your career and your public image. And so for you, you may be looking at your career, and, you may have outgrown that career. Okay. And it might not be something that you want to do anymore. And so you may decide to go into a new career path, or you may, be cleaning up your public image, right? And, deciding to take your public image in a new direction. Okay. Um, Also, with this is authority figures as well. And so, if there are some authority figures, mostly related to your job, you may be looking to bring balance with that. And if you cannot bring things into balance, you're just going to release and let go. Okay. Um, For Aquarius risings, this is going to be in your ninth house. Ninth house is the house of ninth house is your beliefs. It is foreign travel. It is higher education. So you could, be starting a job. You may be starting to learn something. You could, start learning a new language. You could go back to school. You could start traveling. Things of that nature. Or also, if you are in there's some beliefs that you may have had that you have now outgrown. You could, let those beliefs go because you have now adopted new beliefs. Okay. Um, and so foreign travel is going to be, could be something really significant for you as well. Now, for Pisces risings, this is going to be in your eighth house. Eighth house is your shared resources. Um, it's your shared resources, and it is your debts, and it's also intimacy, right? Um, and like, if you look in some books, I want to talk about this real quick before I get into it. If you look at some astrology, like traditional astrology, it does not say anything about intimacy, right? But when you think about money, right? Because the eighth house is a money house, okay? When you think about money, right? Money is a very intimate thing to people. Okay. Money is very important. Money, and it's a shared resource. Okay. Eighth house is shared resources, right? And anything that you share with somebody, it's normally something that you're pretty intimate with, right? And people don't play about their money, right? So that's why intimacy always comes up, and um, it is the house after the seventh house. Seventh house is partnerships, okay? And it is a money's house. So it is the money of your spouse, which is why it's shared resources, right? Um, and so, anyway, I always want to put that out because some people are like, anything else has nothing to do with intimacy. And no, in traditional astrology, it does not say intimacy specifically. However, when you think about it in the context of shared resources, and money is a shared resources, it is a money house. That is something that is intimate because people really cut up. People cut up about their money. Money is very important to people, and so I just want to throw that in a caveat. But in this house, with the new moon occurring here, this could be where your partner is getting some new money. Your partner may be getting a new job if you are in a partnership. Um, Also, this could be where you are looking at the resources in your relationship. Okay, how are the shared assets in your relationship? Do they feel one-sided? Are they balanced? Are you having any issues when it comes to shared resources with your partner? Okay, that is something that you may be looking at if you are in a partnership. If not, this also speaks about eighth house is also about traumas. It's also about debt. And so, this is where you are getting your debts in order. Okay. If you have a lot of debt at this time, you may be setting up a plan, a debt reduction plan to reduce your debt. Okay. To bring your debt into balance, to bring your finances into balance. Okay. All right. So now I want to give a few tips, a few things on what as a collective you can do to to really capitalize on this new moon's energy. And then I'm also going to give some things on what not to do and what to do. Okay, so I'm going to start with the not to do. So first thing, you don't want to romanticize imbalance. Okay, Libra energy can make you crave harmony or partnership so much that you slip back into situations that look peaceful but are secretly one sided. Okay. And so balance doesn't mean quiet at all costs. It means equal exchange. And so if a relationship, a collaboration, or a friendship or a job um, drains you more than it feeds you, it is not balance. It is avoidance wearing perfume. And so you want to make sure that you are getting what you need as well as giving what is needed. Okay. And if those things aren't fair, aren't equitable, then you need to cut it loose. Okay. The next thing is don't agree out of loneliness. Okay. This lunation can reopen the heart, which feels good after the emotional freeze of divorce. But don't confuse chemistry with compatibility. And so new moons are about planting seeds. Don't plant one in soil that has not healed yet. Okay. So if you are truly not ready to get back out into the dating scene, don't. Just because you're lonely, just because you want to be with somebody. Because what happens is that you fall right back into the trap of what you just came out of. Okay. And that's not good. Okay. So let your solitude mature into self trust before saying yes to anyone new. Okay. The next thing is don't chase closure from someone who is incapable of giving it to you. Okay. And so this new moon invites new stories and not recycled lessons. Closure is internal, a declaration and not a dialogue. And so if you are still waiting for somebody to validate your experience, to validate how they treat you, to say, I'm sorry, you are giving away your peace. Just let it go. Okay. Libra teaches harmony. Libra teaches that harmony isn't achieved through convincing, it's achieved through choosing. Choose to be okay with not getting closure from outside sources. Give yourself the closure that you are looking for. Nobody can give you the closure that you desire but you. Okay. And then the last thing, what not to do is to don't overthink your next move. Okay. Libra energy can spiral in indecision. And so choose one intention and act on it, even if it's something small like paying off one bill, making one phone call, or asserting one strong boundary. It moves the scales towards balance. Clarity does not come from thinking, it comes from moving. So just make a decision and go. Okay. Don't try to figure out, is it the right decision? Should I do this? Do I know all the steps to do it? Just take the first step and go. And the rest of the steps will be revealed to you. Okay. All right. So now here's what to do. Okay. So number one, choose reciprocity and not rescue. When you catch yourself giving more than you receive, pause and ask, is this partnership mutual or me managing? Libra energy thrives on balance. And so surround yourself with people who give as generously as you do, emotionally, energetically, and financially. Harmony does not mean half of you showing up, it means both sides contributing. Right? The next thing is to say yes to your solitude. Okay? Being alone is not the same as being unloved. And so this Libra new moon asks you to become your own best companion. Take yourself out, speak kindly to your reflection, or write a love letter to the woman that you are becoming. Solitude is where your next season of peace gets built. Okay? You don't rush into a relationship if you are not ready for it. If you are still trying to figure things out and get over, your previous relationship, your marriage, just be by yourself. It's nothing wrong with being by yourself. You're not missing out on anything. I promise you, you're not missing out on anything. If anything, you're giving yourself the space to evolve so that when a new potential love does come, you are ready, you are open, you are fully ready to receive it. Okay. All right. The next thing, offer yourself the closure that you crave. Instead of waiting for an apology, write the closure letter you'll never send. Read it out loud under this new moon and then burn it or tear it. And then say out loud, I release the need, excuse me, I release the need to be understood and I choose peace instead. Libra energy thrives when emotional cords are cleared with grace. And then the last thing is to move and don't mull. Libra is air energy and it can get stuck in analysis paralysis sometimes. Make your movement your meditation. Stretch, dance, or walk while visualizing yourself leveling out. Every step says, I'm bringing myself into alignment. Progress and not perfection is what your focus should be under this energy. Okay. And so here's a few affirmations just to close this out that you can work with under this new moon. One, I attract relationships that reflect the peace that I've created within. My decisions honor both my heart and my future. And I release what disrupts my harmony and calls in what restores it. Okay. All right. So see, this new Libra moon is your time to rebuild balance on your terms. After divorce, peace doesn't come from everything being perfect. It comes from you choosing harmony over perfection, harmony over um, needing closure, harmony over your history. You've learned and you've experienced what imbalance feels like. And so now it's time to experience what reciprocity looks like. And so as you move through this new moon, honor your progress, honor every boundary that you have kept so far, every no that protected your energy, and every yes that felt like self trust returning. Okay. All right. So if you enjoyed this content, please do share it out with another divorcee that could use some guidance and community while navigating her divorce recovery. And so if you would like to learn how to use the natal astrology healing method for your divorce recovery, or if you want to be a part of the Understanding You University Navigators community, make sure you subscribe and click the bell so that you get notified when I upload new content to the channel. Also, if you haven't grabbed your free copy of my ebook From Breakup to Brilliance, the Natal Astrology Healing Method, you definitely want to grab that. You can do so at the link in the description of the channel. And then if you would like to book a energetic calibration reading with me, you can also do that at the link in the description. Okay. And so until next time, remember that divorce is not your ending. It is your initiation into the most powerful version of yourself. All right. I will see you on the next live. Have a good one.